What was your experience with sports, Chris? What did you play?
I grew up kind of trying to play all sports in high school. Was kind of where I got it, kind of got dialed into what sports I was going to play. So I ended up playing soccer for 4 years in high school, and then I also played basketball at Rosemont High School
Okay.
for 4 years. Tried to play baseball. Probably should have played golf. Back at that time, golf wasn't as cool as it is now. So everybody, I just didn't understand that you got to get out of school early if you're on the golf team.
Did Jake play a bunch of sports?
Yeah. Yep. They played. I mean, it's funny. Football. I so wanted to be basketball players. Their mom was tall. This is actually a funny story, but their mom was tall, so I knew they were going to be tall. And I thought for sure I had a 2 guard and a 3 guard, like a small forward. It turns out they're both 6'6". I mean, I was pretty much spot on.
Right.
However, I tried to coach them at a young age. So think, YMCA basketball, 4th and 5th grade. And trust me when I tell you that some parents just shouldn't be coaches. I didn't know that about myself at that time, but I figured it out real quick after that, because as soon as that basketball season was over, they're like, not only do we not want to play basketball, we want to do something that my dad literally knows nothing about. So what would that be? So hockey, right? He doesn't know anything about hockey. So we're going to do that.
Chris, when did you realize that that Jake was special, that had abilities? Did he stand out as a kid in a number of different sports?
I mean, he was always he was always really good. Like he wasn't, I don't know that he was always, on any given team or sport, he wasn't the best player, but he was always really, really good.
Can you give me a quick laundry list, looking back at the rearview mirror, of the characteristics that Jake has and what you saw in him, even as a young athlete, before he got serious about hockey, that would enable him to be where he is right now?
I mean, honestly, the biggest thing is, and I think it's I see it with kids all the time. It's having, you can say you have a dream, right? I have a dream. I want to play in the NHL, whatever your dream is, right? It's making the small decisions. He was able to always make the small decisions, choices, etc., that he thought he needed to make to continue to move down that path. He always was. He didn't care what other people thought. He didn't care what people said. If people said something to, gave him a hard time, whatever the deal was, what are you doing this for? Why are you doing that? It was like, because this is what I want to do, and this is where I'm going, and this is what you have to do that. And he was doing, that kind of stuff at a very young age, like making those choices probably even before he had to, but he was already moving down that path of, I'm going here, and along my way, I'm going to have to make tough choices and tough decisions. And I don't care what anybody else thinks. And I think that honestly is probably the biggest thing, is not letting others influence him in his decisions and his choices, and then sticking to them, honestly.
Goalie dads are legendary for their neuroses and, over plug in, finding, the place all by themselves at the end of the rink. Were you that guy, or because hockey was not that huge a part of your life, were you mellow and a good supporter and all that stuff?
I'd like to think I was calm. I'm sure when I was younger and Jake was, getting going, like I said, he would probably look up in the stands and be like, my dad's nuts. Right. but for the most part, no, I'm not superstitious. I'm not neurotic. We watch the game from our family room. We don't watch with other people. Generally speaking, we don't watch in a big group. We just generally hang out in the family room and watch hockey.
What would you tell, sports parents whose kids are 10, 11, 12, 13? What would your advice be to them?
I have some people ask me, like, what do I think? The general answer right now is, hey, at 10, don't worry about it.
Right.
Like, we're not making any decisions now, and he's not going to make a team today or tomorrow. And if he plays on the X team or the Y team, whatever it is, it's fine. like you'll be okay. It's, you start getting to be, 12, 13, and if you love it and you're in it and you're, doing all this stuff and there's something, at that point you can maybe start to make some other decisions. But at this age, let's just have fun. Keep them in it. Have them have fun and want to go back to the rink every day.